Welcome to Variant One Shot. Before I talk about Captain America Civil War, I just want to let you guys know that this Tuesday, I'll be at the second annual Valiant Comic Summit, live tweeting all their new book announcements and things they have planned for the future. We're also the exclusive channel for the entire event, and we'll be getting several interviews with Valiant creators and heads, which we'll be putting live on the Variant channel that night. So be on the lookout for some awesome Valiant comic announcements on May 17th, both on social media and on the channel. With that said, as most of you know, I went to the Civil War premiere in LA and saw the movie 3 weeks before its US release date. I actually already reviewed the movie, but it was a spoiler-free review since none of you were able to see it at that time. But now that it's been out for a little bit, I can talk about everything, or at least some of my favorite moments that I couldn't say before because they would be spoilers. So if you haven't caught on by now, there's gonna be a lot of spoilers in this video. So if you still haven't seen it, you can still hear my thoughts by turning this video off and going to watch my spoiler-free review instead. I put a link for that in the description below and in the YouTube card thingy up there. Now let me just start with saying this movie was freaking fantastic. I think you all know that by now, but it had to be said since this is a review of the movie. It's in my top 3 favorite superhero movies, like ever. You know what? It's actually my favorite superhero movie ever. I loved it more than The Dark Knight. There, I said it. Don't get me wrong, I love The Dark Knight, and Heath Ledger gave one of the best performances in the history of cinema, but I just personally think as a whole, Civil War was better because every single character in that movie was amazing. Unlike the whole, I'm not the one wearing hockey pads Batman we all make fun of now. Anyway, there's so many awesome moments in Civil War, and I just know I'm gonna forget certain cool parts, and people in the comments are gonna be like, what about this moment? It was awesome. And I'm probably gonna agree with you, but again, there's just so many cool moments in this movie, I won't be able to remember them all. But let's start with Black Panther. Sweet baby Jesus in a manger. Was Chadwick Boseman great as Black Panther? That foot motorcycle / car chase with Bucky, Black Panther, Captain America, and Falcon was unreal. You have Black Panther full sprint running over cars that are going like 50 miles an hour, then he ends up hanging on the back of a car that Captain America is driving, only to be launched through the air and claw the back tire of the motorcycle Bucky is driving. Then you have freaking bullets bouncing off his suit because vibranium is sewn into his costume, and then his vibranium claws put scratches in Captain America's shield. But even with all that, my 2 favorite Black Panther moments were more subtle because they just showed that you don't want to mess with this guy. Like when they first captured Bucky, Falcon, Black Panther, and Cap and are taking them in. T'Challa says the Black Panther has been the protector of Wakanda for generations, a mantle passed from warrior to warrior. And now because your friend murdered my father, I also wear the mantle of king. So I ask you, as both warrior and king, how long do you think you could save your friend from me? That's basically a drop the mic and walk out moment. But the other Black Panther moment I loved was so simple. It's when he was fighting Hawkeye. Clint is like, I don't think we've been introduced. I'm Clint. And Black Panther's all like, I don't care. They just captured Black Panther's royal warrior demeanor so good in this movie. So good. Then we also have Spider-Man in this movie, and man was he amazing. I had to. They captured the youthful fun side of Spider-Man perfectly. Like the whole time he was fighting in that airport scene, which was freaking mind-blowing by the way, he never shut up. Like saying to Winter Soldier, you have a metal arm, that's awesome dude. Or talking about Captain America's shield saying, this thing doesn't obey the laws of physics at all. Or my favorite Spider-Man moment when he's tangling Giant Man's legs with his web line saying, hey guys, you ever see that really old movie, Empire Strikes Back? While he's doing the same thing they did to the AT-ATs in The Empire Strikes Back. It was priceless. But then War Machine is like, Jesus Tony, how old is this guy? And Iron Man says, I don't know, I didn't carbon date him, he's on the young side. So freaking good. And there was just a bunch of moments like that, and Spider-Man looked good, his personality was awesome, his fighting style was great, just everything was perfect about him in my opinion. Ant-Man was also awesome. He was one of my favorite parts of this movie. He also becomes Giant Man, which made my heart so very happy. Hawkeye also shoots arrow with Ant-Man on it. That's a nerdgasm if I've ever seen one. Also, I love the reveal when Tony finds out that Bucky killed his parents. It was so good. It was such a good way to drive the nail in the coffin with Captain America, Iron Man, and Winter Soldier's conflict. Now I can keep going on about how awesome Captain America Civil War was, and how great Spider-Man is, Vision is, Ant-Man is, Black Panther, and everyone else in the movie, but this video would be like over an hour long. But the last thing I'm going to talk about is the end credit scene. Spider-Man finally has his spider signal, which he shines on criminals in the comics and the cartoons. It really seems like they're going the Spectacular Spider-Man / Ultimate Spider-Man route, which I'm really happy with. Spectacular Spider-Man is one of my all-time favorite Spider-Man cartoons, and the Ultimate Spider-Man comic book is really good, and the new cartoon is pretty good too. There's not really much else we get from the end credit scene besides a little back and forth between Peter and Aunt May about his black eye, but when the end credits go black, it says Spider-Man will return, and boy oh boy, can I not wait for that. In summary, if you haven't seen this movie, what the heck are you waiting for? Whether you're a massive comic book fan or not, you need to see this movie. In my opinion, it's one of the best superhero movies ever made, and my new favorite one.